NCTV45, The Train, anytime on your time.
Today's programming is brought to you by NCTV45 and NC Radio 450, Newcastle's community television station. This program furnished by Sporting Goods, 23 East Washington Street, Newcastle. Call 724-658-2535. These fine businesses provided funding for this program. Gatherings, Town and Country, and On Target.
Welcome to the Cedars Sports Corner, everybody. I'm Alex Laverson, and with me, as always, is our producer, Mr. Angelo Parada. Angelo, another weekend in sports in the books, and I'll tell you what, man, a lot of disappointed Steeler fans, but a lot of frustration, I feel like, is not only just coming from the Steelers' play, but from the officiating, from how the game is, from that roughing the passer call at the end of the game.
Yeah, he had him around the ankles.
I mean, like, come on, that's so silly. You know, I mean, when you have Tom Brady on Twitter saying to the refs, let them play, you know it's bad. You know what I mean?
You know, I've often said with officiating at any level, it can change the outcome of a game in a heartbeat. You go down 7, okay, you receive the ball, you make a long run, they call you for holding. You make a long run, they call you, and pretty soon that ball that might have been on the 30 goes back to the 20, then half the distance to the goal, and now you're in 2nd and 40. Okay, you're not in a position to really do anything. And that 3 and out can change the complexion of a game. Now, with the Steelers, quarterback went out, and you know, I hate to say this, but Deion Sanders kind of is looking like a prophet. He said, first of all, no Big Ben, and you go down to your second quarterback. Well, the second quarterback performed admirably. And now you're down to your third quarterback, and people not hurt. But I feel that the story of the game is the defense. You're winning 23-20. All you have to do is shut down 1 minute.
Well, I felt like they were doing that until that roughing the passer call happened. And
you know, you shut down 1 minute, and that's key.
Let me ask you this. How do you feel about the Steelers deciding to kick the ball in overtime instead of receive it?
You know, with the new rule, it's 6 one, half dozen the other. Because if you kick and they make a field goal, as they did, you know what you have to do. So that doesn't bother me as much as the bad, and much as defense being able to make a shutdown.
I think what Steelers are trying there, Tom, was that the Ravens are in good field position defense. Whenever the Steelers defense, when they were getting position, and be that's admission that you're trust your offense to win the game.
Well,
blame him.
I'm going to get real on him on that one because he's his third back.
Yeah, and what? You had that Juju spent a couple. Here's the deal. There's a lot going on. Defender should have Juju have held tighter. I think things can be.
Yeah.
I mean, that if you look at the ball out, you know,
you have to. I don't know. Buy that. And really try on what's that, and so that you know, and you know, I'm tired of a steal consistent run off. Apologize. I'm beyond that. Ruining this guy. The NFL. We're going to lose.
well,
What? If you stay around, you have to. Can't apologize for call. Call Clay hated from authorities.
how do you thought about it? A lot of people think that should have but the roughing the but the hit. I don't know. I understand what you're saying.
Tackle where isn't moving, reaches out, and all that. Necessary.
Like, but as he was wrapped around, like it's very petty, beyond petty. That's it.
It was.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine.
If you're craving hot dogs and more, and you're in the area, then look no farther than Coney Island, downtown Newcastle on Kennedy Square.
This program was provided through funding from Cedars Restaurant in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. A special thanks to Cedars, featuring Middle Eastern, Italian, and American cuisine.
And we're back. So Angelo,
Do you see what he did?
what I do?
Look at the jacket.
No,
Look
you're
at
always
the
saying
jacket.
I'm wearing brown.
You know, I mean, he's going out of his way.
Look, I pointed over here. I'm looking at the
You
camera.
know, unbelievable.
Angelo, I'll tell you what.
Let's talk about Major League Baseball,
Major.
because they have some interesting things going on. In that their traditional guys are in the game, and I think that's good for baseball. You got the Dodgers, you got the Yankees, you got the Braves, and you got that second tier, which is Washington and St. Louis.
So you are gonna be invested in the playoffs this year?
I'm a little more invested because the whole thing, they're doing a good job. I'm watching baseball, and I'm saying they're doing a good job for the good of the game. You know, Tampa Bay and Houston are kind of the outliers there, but if you look at everybody else, maybe including Minnesota, who draws a pretty hefty crowd up there in the north. It's interesting, and at the time of doing this, it really looks like Atlanta, the Dodgers, and the Yankees are going to tie or win, and Houston. So you'll have the Yankees taking on the Astros, which is good, and the Dodgers taking on Atlanta. All good things for baseball.
You know what my favorite thing about postseason baseball is? It's watching all the former Pirates play. That should still be on the Pirates. That's my favorite thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, as we cruise to the NBA, I have one question on the NBA.
I don't even
Well, this question is reasonable. Did you notice that you can't even say the names anymore of the teams they're having in the scrimmage game?
Guangzhou?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even.
I get by
versus
New
the Sixers.
Zealand, San Lorenzo, okay, up in Cleveland. Okay, these names are unbelievable. And I just think, maybe they're trying to get the European leagues or some of those folks involved. I don't know. But hot dog, you should be at least able to say the name.
I guess the only thing I'll say about the NBA is I was happy the Golden State Warriors didn't win it last season. I was happy Toronto Raptors did. Well, not happy they won, just happy a team that hasn't won a championship and that it wasn't Golden State. Now, Angela, okay, so we're talking hockey now? Okay.
Well, I love Golden State.
Don't forget, we got college football.
Not as much. I love Golden State, but not as much as I like my Celtics. But
I still like the Cavs.
One more thing, and then we'll go to a break. Hockey, and we'll come back with some football. The Pens really going through the hockey season with questions on their mind. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's just the beginning of the season. A lot of people freaked out when they lost. Like it's like people.
Well, no way.
I'm trying to look at the schedule. Okay,
I'm gonna help you, Kimosabi. Okay. You've got a win against the Blue Jackets, a loss against the Sabres, a win against the Red Wings, a loss against the Red Wings, a loss against the Blue Jackets. So it's kind of like there's a win against the Blue Jackets, okay? So they're kind of going back and forth, okay, with these win-loss, 500. Maybe it's the weeding out process, is my point.
I mean, maybe. I just know a lot of fans got upset after they lost the first game. Well, woe is me. It's like, guys, how many games do they play? Yeah, let's relax. Again, I'm not the guy to talk about hockey, but I am the guy to talk about college football.
This program furnished by the MAD Unit, Mobile Auto Detailing. See Michael Sad at themadunit.com. Holy snowman, it's the Turf Bar, home of great sandwiches, appetizers, tacos, you name it, they have it at the Turf Bar. It's just the right food. You'll enjoy those special drinks. They're there too. And get that nice cold beverage, relax, enjoy the Turf Bar. If you ain't there, you should be. Hello, friends. Pinella Brothers, 1701 Hamilton Street, provided funding for this program. Great food and drink, Pinella Brothers.
And welcome back to our third and final segment of the Cedar Sports Corner, everybody. So I'll tell you what, Ange. was not able to watch Pitt versus Duke on Saturday night because it was on the ACC network, and I do not have the ACC network. So I had to follow it on. I had to follow it online on game trackers and everything, and it was the end of the third quarter, near the end of the third quarter, 26-3. So I'm like, okay, I think I can go to bed here. Yeah, I can't watch a game. Might as well get caught up with the stats of the morning anyway. So I wake up a little earlier than usual, and I see that Pitt did win, but it was a close one. It was 33-30.
Well, here's the thing about when you play somebody the stature of Duke.
Mm-hmm.
The Dukes, the Stanfords, those are what I call never give up teams. You just don't have to beat them, you have to bury them, because they'll keep playing till the last down. Air Force, there's countless schools like that.
And I think it's really a coaching thing. Like David Culliff, the coach of Duke, he was too good for Pitt, just I feel like, to destroy them like that and hold their offense off. Listen, that Pitt defense is one of the best defenses I've seen for a Pitt team. I think they're number 21 nationally. I think they're in the top 10 for pass defense.
But Pitt's going to have to keep working to be able to crawl back into the ACC championship game.
Well, and here's the thing. They can win it. They're 1-1 in the conference right now. They're more than capable of beating the rest of the teams in the ACC Coastal, but any Pitt fan will tell you just because they're supposed to, it doesn't mean they will. They're 4-2 on the season, okay? The rest of their schedule, very winnable games. And honestly, if their defense just continues to play the way it should, and if their offense can just play at least somewhat above the level they've been playing at, and no silly turnovers, not come out flat, then I feel like they'll win all those games. But being a Pitt fan, when Pitt went down to Duke after being 26-3 with a couple minutes left, every Pitt fan was like, same old story, Pitt's gonna Pitt. But what's different, Ange, about this Pitt team is that Pitt teams of past, when they had different coaches, would have folded and lost that game. Not with Narduz and his squad. This Pitt team is finding ways to win, and they're finding ways to avoid that collapse like Pitt used to do.
Well, they still gotta get over the hump with beating a Penn State, or beating.
They can beat them. I feel like they should have beat Penn State
in that realm. Now, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, I was glad to see that NBC put out apologies for Bowling Green, as this is their rebuilding year. When you go to play somebody in these other conferences that are still Division I but not the upper tier, you always run into this. Notre Dame 52-0, as the Irish look sharp and now start cruising into the USC game, which is the battle of that's the national game, and Michigan. 2 wins there should catapult Notre Dame back into the top 4.
Well, they got to make sure they do. I definitely think they'll beat Michigan. Michigan and Harbaugh just don't seem to beat those top 10 teams. I think Harbaugh, I think we said last time he was 1-9 against the top 25, or maybe it was just the top 10, I don't know.
Now, closer to home, the Duquesne Dukes, 21-14, and the Dukes just keep winning, even though they have that one loss against Youngstown. Youngstown dropped to Northern Illinois.
That's a bummer.
So that's putting Duquesne in that position to get back into the playoffs they have for that Division I AA program, which is a heck of an accomplishment for the Dukes.
And another local team we forgot to talk about was Penn State, them crushing Purdue. Is that anything special, or is that just another example of them squashing a cupcake?
I won't call Purdue a cupcake. It is what it is, and you just move on from there. So, speaking of moving on, we better bid adieu to these fine people out here.
All right, everybody.